Hi, David here, One Up Gaming, episode 370 of the One Up Gaming podcast. So I'll apologies now if I can't see something or something goes a bit skewy. I've had drops put in my eyes for my diabetic checky thing every year, so I can't really see much. I can see from one side of the room to the other, but when I'm holding my tablet to look at the screen, it's a bit blurred. So if I miss things, I do apologise. I'll record all the screens as I normally do. But just bear it in mind, and we'll run through this as quickly as we possibly can because I've got a cracking headache and everything's burning my eyes. So we'll go straight into the first bit of news we've got this week, and that is Counter-Strike 2 players express disappointment as many of CSGO's key features disappear. So after a surprise announcement earlier this year, Valve surprised players once again by suddenly releasing Counter-Strike 2 as an update to Counter-Strike Global Offensive on Wednesday after a long beta period. Along with several new gameplay aspects, Counter-Strike 2 brings a few major changes like weapon refunds and overhauled graphics to the model that helped its predecessor become one of the most played Steam games of all time. Unfortunately, quite a few players, though, the original Counter-Strike Global Offensive was completely replaced by Counter-Strike 2. Aside from being able to play offline demo, which seems to be missing quite a few beloved features from the original game, now players caught off guard are taking to Reddit and X to share their concerns about the game's current state. Just hours after CS2's release, players began taking note of missing features. Oh god, I can't read that. Large aspects of CSGO that have mysteriously disappeared from CS2, which includes several competitive and wingman maps, workshop maps, and entire game modes like Arms Race, Flying Scotsman, and Danger Zone. In the replies and across Twitter and Reddit, other players have now joined in on wondering where these modes went and if they'll return. And then it just goes through some of the bits and bobs of people talking about the games, like what it's missing. Hopefully, will they get new bits and bobs? And that, my friends, is the news for Call of Duty 2. No, it's not Call of Duty. Oh my god. I'm sorry, my eyes hurting. CSGO, Counter-Strike. So, what do you guys think? Are you interested in the Counter-Strike sort of games, or have Valve lost you now that they've done this sequel that's just not? It's just like missing a lot of the core features of the old game. But we'll see what happens. So we'll go into the next bit of news. The writer's strike is over. What that means for The Last of Us, Stranger Things, and more. Well, it's official. The most recent writer's strike is over after reaching a tentative deal with Hollywood studios. The leadership of the Writers Guild of America unanimously voted to accept a new 3-year contract, which includes major gains in the areas of artificial intelligence, streaming data transparency, and minimum room sizes. Minimum room size? While the WGA's membership still needs to vote to accept the contract, the Guild's leadership officially ended the work stoppage on Wednesday, giving writers full permission to leave the picket lines and head back to work after 148 days. Bloody hell. That means that the development that was halted all the way back in May can now continue, but there's a slight catch. Hollywood actors remain on strike, although they're set to resume negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which represents Hollywood studios. Next week, we have no idea if that will lead to the end of the media work stoppage. So what this means is that while the work of writing can be done, from early development to script rewrites, filming that involves actual actors, which is most of it, cannot. So what does that mean for you, who just waiting for the final season of Stranger Things or Superman Legacy? Let's break it all down as best we can. blah 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 blah. In the very short term, the major late night shows are an obvious thing to point to, as they were impacted the most when the strike was called, with writers working daily to keep up with current events in time for the episode's evening air times. They're also the first to bounce back. Several late night hosts, including Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, and Jimmy Kimmel, all announced that they're returning next Monday, October 2nd, preparing to release their first non-rerun episodes in 5 months, while John Oliver's Last Week Tonight Will Last return this Sunday. The 5 hosts, who launched a podcast together in August in benefit of the Hollywood strike, announced the news in an enthusiastic comedians. Okay, but when am I getting The Last of Us season 2? If they haven't even started filming it yet, I'd say like another year. As far as the biggest scripted series, those can now continue with development, with the aforementioned caveat of not being able to continue filming what would involve actors. The Last of Us second season, for example, was still deep in the writing process when the strike was called in May, and showrunner Craig Mazin has been open about the eagerness to return to the scripts. In July, he said he was keen to keep season 2 on track for 2025. Sure enough, he posted, yeah, so I thought it'd be another year or so. Stranger Things was near the finish line writing wise, with filming to begin in June, according to star David Harbour. Duffer Brothers, however, were quick to come out after the WGA strike was called, and pointed out that while writing does not stop when filming begins, setting the record straight that they would not move into production amid the writers' work stoppage. Via reports on X, however, Stranger Things writers team confirmed that they have returned to work post-strike with a simple way back. They've also shared what are technically some first looks at season 5 in the form of fairly silly pre-VS shots, which, despite being a little unserious, are still very cute. Okay. Yeah, so basically it just means that they can start writing now, and so anything that wasn't already started, it's going to be another year or two out. So let us know, are you excited for all these new updates? Are you excited for all this stuff happening? Are you still a bit bummed that it is going to take another year or two before some of these things do come out? Anyway, PlayStation boss Jim Ryan to retire next spring. Jim Ryan, who's been president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment since 2019, is retiring in May 2024. The news first broke via a post on X from Bloomberg's Jason Schreiber, before Sony confirmed it with their own announcement shortly after. Hiroki Totoki will assume the interim CEO role starting on April 1st, 2024. The Sony Group Corporation President, COO and CFO will also become chairman of SIE, stating next month to support Mr. Ryan in his transition. Additionally, Sony said it will work closely with Sony Group Corporation Chairman and CEO Yoshihiro Future. After 30 years, I've made the decision to retire from SIE in March 2024. I've relished the opportunity to have a job I love in a very special company, working with great people and incredible partners, but I've found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe, working in North America. I will leave having been privileged to work on products that have touched millions of lives across the world. PlayStation will always be a part of my life, blah blah blah. Yeah, so it's news just come out of the blue. You know, it really is. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that some people are in jobs way too long, and I think maybe he was in the job 5 years too long. If it had come out, because like some of the stuff that's come out when they were trying to stop the Microsoft acquisition just seems as though he's like he'd do anything he could to just knacker up other companies, which I get. I really do get. I understand that, but still, it doesn't make you look a nice person. So anyway, move on to the next bit of news. Cities Skylines 2 on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S suffers big delay. Refunds have been offered. So it's basically it was planned October, but now it's been pushed back to spring 2024. Publisher Paradox Interactive and developer Colossal Order. I apologise again. I've had my eyes done. I can't read. Insisted the PC version of its hotly anticipated city building game is on track for the original release date of October 24th via Steam and the Windows Store, as well as PC Game Pass. We are hard at work getting the game ready for our release on October 24th, Paradox said in a statement issued to IGN. While doing so, we have come to realize that we need more time to reach the quality targets we have set, as we want to provide the best experience for our players. We are updating the release window for Xbox and PS5 to spring 2024. The additional time allows us to focus on matching the quality and performance across all platforms. Pre-orders will be automatically refunded, Paradox said, with no... I hate it when that little MailChimp just pops in. The refund process for the physical edition pre-order is handled via the retailer. Yeah. What do you guys think of that? Now, I do remember a good few years ago now, this game, the Cities Skylines, had massive PR plus because you could play a single player. You can just play it. It was mint. Whereas the new SimCity game that came out, even if you were just playing the single player mode, you had to have it connected online, and it just wasn't as free flowing as the Cities sort of on Skylines games was. But now they've got all the hype and all the buzz with this game now. Maybe it's just a bit too much, and they just don't want to knacker up all the goodwill that they got last time. What do you guys think? Please leave comments below. So we'll move on to the next bit of news that we have got, and that one is, my friends, Gran Turismo Sport online service shuts down early 2024. Gran Turismo Sport owners better rev up those engines as developer Polyphony Digital announced today that online services for its 2017 racing sim will shut down early next year. In a new blog post on the official Gran Turismo website, Polyphony revealed that online services for Gran Turismo Sport will shut down January 31st. After that date, Gran Turismo Sport players will no longer have access to online services, including open lobby, garage car liveries, and sport mode. So if you have any trophies that require online play you have yet to unlock, the clock is ticking. Offline modes such as split screen multiplayer, the main single player campaign, world circuits, and time trials will still be accessible. Prior to the online service shutdown, yeah, is this the world that we're living in now? Most of these games get a 3-4 year lifespan, and then they all get shut down, basically, don't they? They all get canned. I understand it with the movies, with the racing games, because of all the all of the licenses of the cars and everything, and it is just a weird moment in time when some of these games, yeah. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty includes a hard-to-find Witcher reference. Spoiler, the following article features minor spoilers for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty's fourth main mission. I don't care. Found a super sneaky reference to the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt hidden by CD Projekt inside Liberty expansion. As recorded in... Players will encounter a wall-mounted phone in Phantom Liberty's mission, while this is a one-off encounter where players contact Idris Elba's Solomon Reed for the first time. Going back to it and dialing a bunch of different phone numbers will net some interesting results. Thanks to Cyberpunk 2077 being open world, players can simply head back to the phone inside Captain Calinette whenever they like to counter the Witcher reference. By dialing one of the numbers scribed in a post-it note, the players will be treated to the Witcher 3 main theme. Keanu Reeves' Johnny Silverhand smiles and gives a thumbs up at the successful hit as a crackly version of the song The Trial plays over the phone. You can check out some of the other fun references video above. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's that. I'm just trying to crack through some of this news stuff because there's a lot of news articles this week. With my eyes knackering and really sore, I'm just gonna rattle through some of these. So apologies. And next up, John Cena, Zolo Marindudinia, Viola Davis returning as in DCU as James Gunn clarifies new canon. So basically, DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn has clarified exactly where DCU canon begins, and that John Cena, all these other people, are returning as Peacemaker, Blue Beetle, and Amanda Waller. In a series of posts on Threads, Gunn made clear that DCU canon will begin with animated series Creature Commandos, followed by Superman Legacy, and no currently released content like Blue Beetle will be required watching. Gunn also said that it's okay to be confused about the current plans, with many DC fans finding a mixed messaging regarding characters like Blue Beetle unclear, as the DC Extended Universe, which began with Zack Snyder's Man of Steel and will end with Aquaman The Lost Kingdom, comes to a close. Nothing is canon until Creature Commandos next year. It's sort of so basically they're starting that with the DCU. But yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. I mean, I don't really understand all this. I understand that movies are great when you link them together and have little Easter eggs, but also I remember a time when there was every different version of the movies and everything was different characters, different people, and I just don't understand why everyone now thinks that everything has to be linked to the same characters, the same actors. But we'll see what they do. We'll see what happens. I will just mention this quickly, and when I say quickly, I'm just going to set the screen recording. And a movie about OceanGate's tragic submersible implosion is being developed, and it's only been 3 months since the tragedy. Just 2 weeks after announcing a new docu-series based on the tragedy of OceanGate's Titan submersible is in the works, Mindright Entertainment revealed a fictional sister project of the same name is also set for development, as reported by Deadline today. Titled Salvaged, the narrative feature will explore segments of time before the submersible deployment, during the search for the vessel, and after the Titan's wreckage is uncovered. According to Deadline, the Blackening producer E. Brian Dobbins is on board to co-produce. That's as much as I want to read about that, because I think that's quite a gross thing to do this early, this quickly. It's alright if you're making a full documentary about it, because you need to get into these things, but to make like a dramatized version of it just to sell, I think that's pretty gross. I really do. But anyway, we'll move on to the next bit of news. The Marvel's runtime confirms it's the MCU's shortest movie ever. It's official, The Marvels is the shortest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, A new listing on AMC Theatres revealed that the upcoming superhero team-up clocks in at just 105 minutes long. That's a brisk 1 hour and 45 minutes. The Marvels beats the previous shortest MCU flick record by 7 minutes, and that's The Incredible Hulk and Thor: The Dark World, which both clocked in at 112 minutes long. But you get an idea, the Marvels really stacks up. We should take a look at some of Marvel's other superhero team-ups. I'll tell you what, then it goes on about the fucking Avengers. No, it's not in the same category as all these sort of things. It's going to be a fun, pulpy little movie, and I'm, for the first time in a long time, excited to see this. I think it could be quite fun. But yeah, so that's that news. Again, I'm sorry, my eyes are burning like hell now. So we'll go straight into the next bit of news. And that, my friends, is new XMen movie is reportedly entering early development at Marvel Studios. Is that just after the writer's strike finished? Now that the writer's strike is over, tons of projects will be able to restart development, and one of those is reportedly the highly anticipated new XMen movie. According to a report from Deadline today, executives at Marvel Studios will start setting meetings to find a writer for the new project this fall. Per the report, there's no real rush to nail down someone for the highly sought-after job, and the discussion will likely be made around the beginning of 2024. While movie looks for writers might not seem like a big deal at first, this is the first real piece of development news we've gotten on a full-blown X-Men film since Disney completed its acquisition of Fox and all its Marvel rights with it. We've seen Patrick Stewart's Professor X in last year's Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine will make his return in the upcoming Deadpool 3, but details have been scarce on the completely new X-Men film. Yeah. What do you guys think? Sorry, I'm reading some stuff, some things that I'm going to miss out on and some things that I was going to sort of like carry on with. But yeah, we'll move on to the next bit of news, and one that I'm excited about. Scott Pilgrim takes off first clip, shows Scott renting a Netflix DVD to see Ramona Flowers. Netflix's Scott Pilgrim Takes Off anime series has received a new clip that shows Scott renting a Netflix DVD in hopes of running into Ramona Flowers as she is one delivering the discs. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off and all of its 8 episodes will be released on Netflix on November 17th, and this clip features many of the characters who are returning to the franchise after first starring in Edgar Wright's 2010 Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. You can check out the trailer. Blah, blah, blah. First up we see Michael Cera's Scott talking to Aubrey Plaza's Julie Powers, who reveals Mary Elizabeth Weinstead's Ramona Flowers is currently working as a delivery person for Netflix. He then goes online using the World Wide Web to order a DVD from Netflix with the help of Kieran Culkin's Wallace Wells. He ends up searching for a video starring Chris Evans' Lucas Lee and waits day and night for Ramona to deliver his DVD. I loved the first movie, and I'm eagerly anticipating this, this sort of series. It looked great. I loved the art style. I loved all the people coming back to the voices, and I'm just in awe of this. So hopefully it'll do well. So last bit of news, unfortunately, more bad news. Harry Potter star Sir Michael Gambon dies aged 82. The legendary Irish-British actor is said to have died peacefully after suffering from pneumonia, according to a statement from his family. We are devastated to announce the loss of Sir Michael Gambon, beloved husband and father. Michael died peacefully in hospital with his wife, Anne, and son Fergus at his bedside, following a bout of pneumonia. Gambon made his screen debut in Othello in 1965 alongside Laurence Olivier and Maggie Smith, going on to forge a career spanning over 60 years. He amassed a total of 148 films and TV credits throughout his career. Notably, Gambon's big screen roles included Gosford Park, never heard of it, Wes Anderson's Fantastic Mr. Fox, never watched it, He then took over as Professor Dumbledore in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, following the death of Richard Harris. He went on to star as Dumbledore for the rest of the main Harry Potter series. Yeah, again, horrible news. Horrible. He seemed a really funny, nice guy. And it is, as I say, I think I said that last week, it just seems that every single week we have a new person to sort of like read the obituaries. But we'll talk about this. Daniel Radcliffe and other Harry Potter stars pay tribute to the brilliant Michael Gambon. So yeah, there was like the Harry Potter Twitter people tweeted out. Jason Isaacs tweeted out. I don't know who James Phelps is. Jared Harris. So yeah, so there's a lot of people that tweeted out about him, and I do think that it's a sad loss to the world. He seemed a great guy. And that, my friends, is the news this week from One Up Gaming with me, David. Episode 370 of the One Up Gaming podcast. So please stick with us. We'll be back with a little bit more. And thank you. Goodbye.